Yo, what's up? This is Colby, and I'm coming at you guys live. And this is what we're calling Satoshi Sunday. And the idea of the Satoshi Sunday is basically to keep it business casual and comment on current events and just whatever's going on in Bitcoin. My good old friend Benjamin is joining me today, and I'm glad to have you on, Ben. Thanks for joining me.
It's good to be here. Always happy to talk politics, economics, Bitcoin, and it's a good Sunday for it.
All the good stuff. So we're giving this a try. This was very unplanned. I just called up Ben and I was like, yo, let's hop on a live real quick because I want to get this Satoshi Sunday thing rolled out. So I'm hoping that you'll be a regular guest and we'll get to kick it and talk Bitcoin. So we're getting started here. This is show numero uno. This is the first Satoshi Sunday. And we're getting started here at block number 774,211 in the mempool. And we got a lot to talk about. I mean, there's been a lot going on, and this is really why I wanted to get like a little regular show going, Ben, because there's always something to talk about in Bitcoin. I think it's the most interesting space. So always something to talk about, always something to learn. So I thought we would just be two plebs kind of talking about what's going on.
Yeah, sounds good. One technical note, I don't know if you can hear it, but I feel like I can hear like a feedback loop of some of the audio.
Do you have me up on like a laptop, or am I just on your phone?
You're just on the phone.
Okay. So I'm getting feedback from your phone?
Yeah, I'm just getting some kind of extra recording of what we said in the last 3 minutes coming back through the phone.
Do you think there's a background link open that I might be talking through another link or something?
I'm not sure. I just closed the other YouTube window on my laptop.
Cool beans. Well, we might just make it work because, like I said, we're figuring out the bugs. So, like, it's all right if we have some technical difficulties because when we come back, we are going to be we might just like we're gonna the next time we do this, like I'm gonna have a different setup and we'll work it out. But
okay, yeah, I closed that window and it seems to be like getting better. So maybe that'll continue to fade away.
I can hear you all right.
Cool.
So yeah, I'm curious. Like, how do you see the space? Because like, you know, everybody has a different kind of journey towards Bitcoin, and once you take that orange pill, like everybody's at kind of like a different stage in the learning process.
Right.
So that's another reason why I thought it'd be cool to have you on, just because like, you know, you are interested in the politics, economics, you know, freedom, liberty, you know, all the good things in life as such. And you know, we go way back. Like I remember making fun of you for being interested in Bitcoin in 2017, and for that I apologize.
I don't even remember that barely, but yeah, once I've always been one to, I guess, you know, have multiple irons in the fires and, you know, just kind of see how they feel and stuff like that. And you've always been one more to like, you know, once you see the value in something, you go all in on it. But you know, if you haven't been convinced yet, you're just not convinced at all. You know.
Word.
So once you took you're head over heels, and you know, I'm still moving at my slower pace, but continuing to get more into the Bitcoin.
Word. You don't happen to have headphones, do you?
I've got some like upstairs. I can go grab real quick.
See if you could grab those. It might help. And then we'll do our simultaneous sip when you get back.
All right.
I'm excited about the simultaneous sip. The funny thing about the mempool, folks, I found this website, and honestly, it's a little bit hard to find. Just for the people, if anybody watches this recorded or whatever. The mempool, there's a bunch of different like sites and apps that you can see the pending transactions, waiting on the next block to get mined for Bitcoin. But I found this one that's my favorite. It's called Bitfeed.live, and I can just watch this thing like all day. It's pretty cool. Waiting on the next block to get mined for Bitcoin.
Oh, I'm sideways now. I can't do that.
Cool. So testing. Hey,
That sounds good.
Let's roll. So now I think we're ready for the Satoshi simultaneous Satoshi sip. Ben, I hope you have a caffeinated beverage or another beverage of your preference. All right, let's get ready to do this Satoshi simultaneous sip. Let's make this a thing for if we do a live stream. All right, on 3, 1, 2. Cheers. That's nice.
Cheers, brother.
So yeah, different parts of the journey, right? And like, I just like learning about things that are important. Jamie says the audio's better. Appreciate it. I just like learning about, things that are important, right? And like one thing that Bitcoin teaches us is about like how our time and our energy is limited. So like, why should our money not also be limited in supply, right? Like money is like your time and your energy, or a measurement of it. We work for money. And like our money. Oh, here we go. We're just entering a new block 774-212. But like money's kind of an important thing, believe it or not. Some people don't like talking about money, but like I think it's an important subject. Are you getting feedback?
Yeah, I'm still hearing other things that you've said in the last 2 minutes, like repeating it back for some reason. And I was like waiting for the radio line to clear. So I'm like watching Colby sitting here staring at me like,
I can say it all. I can repeat it myself if that would help, but
it's like, I don't know. It's like there's versions of you and me from 30 seconds to 2 minutes in the past haunting the stream.
Well,
and
well,
I don't think I'm having a schizophrenic episode.
That's fair. So like, yeah, like I guess I was just saying like Bitcoin is important and like money is important. So like, but like I think that I just think that it's like basically the most important thing, the most important discussion in the world for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, all things that are valuable are of a limited supply, except for maybe a few spiritual, supernatural things. But all the other worldly, tangible things that are worth something are of a limited supply. So so should our money.
Yeah, no kidding. And like a lot of that does have to do with politics. And like, let's go ahead and just, I guess, jump straight into like some current events, if that's cool with you.
Sure.
Word. So the White House came out with their roadmap to mitigate cryptocurrencies risk. Right. So, and to be fair, I haven't even read this yet. But when my wife showed me, I just literally had a lull. Right. Because like, to think that they're gonna protect us from risk, it literally is a joke and a clown show, right? Like, they have, regulation is a touchy subject, but Bitcoin's already regulated as property. So when you talk about crypto and you talk about Bitcoin, generally those are two different things. And it's erroneous to confuse Bitcoin with crypto.
Right. I thought it was hilarious that they're pointing out, the FTX craziness, and they're kind of lumping all crypto, bullcrap that could be going on or has gone on in the last few years into, one lump thing.
You mean FTX? you mean the same SBF, who was their largest donor, second to George Soros?
Right. If anything, they need to be looking at regulating their own, campaign finance.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll get on that right away.
I'm sure.
Right. But again, it's just such a clown show, and they say that people have been, people have suffered from a lack of regulation, and I need to read this in more detail, but of course, their answer to everything is that they don't have enough power. Like things went wrong just because they were, they just didn't have enough power. Their hands were tied, and certainly regulation would solve the problem. When, look, like that has little to nothing to do with Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin, people, frankly, in my estimation, in my non-expert opinion, people shouldn't have Bitcoin on the exchanges anyways. I mean, cryptos is a whole other subject, like the other cryptos, which are unregulated securities, where the regulators are going to come in and step in and start regulating, right? But that's because they're unregulated securities. They've got marketing, they've got leadership, they operate as businesses and companies that are selling shares, and that's not how Bitcoin operates. Bitcoin is completely decentralized. There is no CEO of Bitcoin. There is no marketing arm of Bitcoin. Bitcoin's been around for over 14 years and is a commodity like gold, but improved on that definition. It's actually a scarcity, and so yeah, it's just a joke. I mean, to think that like the White House is going to come in and actually protect people, I personally find that humorous. And judging from like what I already know that you probably agree with me on that.
I think it's particularly funny that sorry, I'm talking to multiple Colbys at the moment, but But I think it's particularly funny that like only the third sentence, what you would think would be kind of irrelevant, they mention many everyday investors who trusted, including young people and people of color, as if just to like, shout out to them in the first two sentences of the article, then not mention, any demographics at all again. And then they just mention basically like the interests of markets and the banks and things like that.
Right. Because, yeah, exactly. And just so you know, dude, I think you might have a tab open that's like repeating a repeat of me. I could be wrong, but while you check that out, I'll just go on another rant, I'll just go on another tirade if you don't mind.
Sure.
Yeah, it's just like this is the problem. Like people of all different shapes, sizes, colors, and beliefs and backgrounds. Pretty much everyone can benefit from good money and freedom money and equitable money, where Bitcoin is Bitcoin, no matter where you're coming from, and you can stack Sats like almost pretty much everyone can stack Sats, and that's very powerful. That's very powerful. I think that is the really like the most underestimated power that people can do to actually take more sovereignty unto themselves and their communities and stop depending on the system, which doesn't really work for any of us in my kind of estimation. So I feel like economic power is, yes, there are a lot of communities that are undermined by the system, but the same system is not going to provide a solution to the problems that are caused by the system and from within the system. So that's like kind of like what Jeff Booth is talking about in The Price of Tomorrow, which is like you're just not going to find solutions to the system from within the system. And
yeah, the government isn't going to offer you solutions to escape the problems that are a consequence of the government's own actions.
Word up, my G. And the thing is like it's kind of a straw man argument for the government to be like, oh, like FTX wrecked you and you got wrecked by like Luna and you got wrecked by like Celsius, but we're here to save you. It's a straw man because like you shouldn't have really been putting trust in those Ponzi scams to begin with. Right. And here comes a bigger Ponzi scheme kind of thing to save the day. Because at the end of the day, the Federal Reserve is like the biggest Ponzi scheme ever.
Right. I was going to say it's interesting, the thought of saving money, and I'll put that in one sense in quotes, because are you really saving money if when you save the money, you have this value that you've earned and you say, I'm going to take this much of it and put it away and save it. But if you put that value away and then its value can still be stolen somehow or can still be diminished somehow completely outside of your control and at the direct control of other people who do not share your interests necessarily, is that really a viable form of saving money?
Well,
or is that worthy of being called money? I'm not sure.
Yeah, and one of the most fundamental attributes and one of the most fundamental properties of money is store of value. Mm-hmm. So, and that is something where Bitcoin is, if you look at the long term, Bitcoin has done a wonderful job storing value over years, multiple years, like 4 or 5 years. You're up hundreds and thousands of % over long periods of time. So it's storing value, it has yet to really be used as the function of medium of exchange or unit of account, where normally if I go to the store, I'm not going to hear that like the things at the store priced in Satoshis yet. Some places, shout out Oh Hi Jelly, shout out my mom's business. She accepts Bitcoin.
Oh yeah, good stuff.
But we're so early in the adoption curve that we're super early. And when people say like, oh, like I think I missed the boat because they didn't get in on Bitcoin when it was triple digits or whatever. Like, I don't think they understand how unbelievably early this technology is.
Right.
And so that's like kind of why I'm kind of like preaching, or not preaching, but like this is why I'm like yelling from the rooftops, because I think this is really powerful. I know that this is powerful technology for people to learn about. And the more you learn about it, the more interesting it becomes. And then you want to share it with like your friends, family, community, and all the rest of it. So like, this is why I'm here on YouTube talking to you on this live right now.
Yeah. And like, I've got, maybe I've got more invested in Bitcoin than the average person, but I'd like to see that position grow by multiples and multiples. I'm not, it's not like I hopped on the boat and, I'm satisfied and we're just like riding the wave and trying to encourage other people to hop on. We're
it's you're not just looking for an exit position when retail comes in and liquidity goes up, and you just cash out and everybody gets rugged because you sold them a bag, right? Like no, this is long term. I don't want to sell my Bitcoin ever.
Gotta have your diamond hands.
yeah. And just some quick like facts before we move on to the next like little current event thing I wanted to cover. Facts: there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin, some of which are lost, never to be recovered.
Right.
And if you do the math on that, like Bitcoin is math. And if you do the math as we enter block 774.214, if you do the math, you realize that if you take 21 million divided by 7 billion people, there's only about 250,000 Satoshis per person.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like worth like $50 or something. So that is your fair share. There's only that many Satoshis per human being on the planet. And Bitcoin is digital scarcity for the first time ever, the innovation of digital scarcity. And when people start to understand that Bitcoin is digital gold and it works as money 10,000 times better than any other money, gold included, and I say that as a gold bug, like I was heavy gold silver bug, and I we were like I totally was like having this conversation with Ben about gold and silver. I'm like, dude, like physical gold and silver. And
yep, and I still am an appreciator of those as well. But I think Bitcoin solves a lot of problems in the in the modern era that gold and silver have no ability to address.
Yeah. And we should totally like go deeper into that on another show, because you and I go way back on like physical metals.
For sure.
But like the math is just super interesting, and I think that people should do the math. That said, let's roll into the next little thing I wanted to touch on.
Right on.
Little sippa.
Also, I don't know what I did or what I had open, but yeah, there must have been, as soon as I went through, like, I think I can only be logged in and using the YouTube app once on any particular device, but it seemed like once I went through and entered that app or something, it like meshed things, and
that's why we're doing it that's why this was not like a high production, like super planned out thing, because I knew we would have to work out some kinks and some bugs. But check this out. So just recently,
So hopefully I don't look too goofy for the first 10 minutes, like get looking like I got 10 people talking to me or whatever.
Good shit. So, dude,
Oops.
a
Pardon me.
solo miner.
But yeah, we're looking at this solo miner that won the lottery or whatever.
Yeah, a solo miner running an S9.
I can't hear you.
Was an S9 running CK solo mining, guessing for the next Bitcoin block. A solo miner, shout out that solo miner that had a really great day. Hits a block and gets to keep all 6.25 and the transaction fees all to his or her self. That's unbelievable, and you love to see it. You just love to see it.
Yeah, if you ever needed good inspirational Bitcoin story to let you know that the little guy can get a win too, that's it right there.
100%, and that's the thing. This is proof of work. This is not proof of stake. This is proof of work. Everybody it's merit based. Whatever you bring to the table, you've got a shot. And an inefficient miner that to be fair, like somebody running an S9, unless they have free power, that miner is going to be losing money. Like you're going to be paying more for the energy than your sats are worth.
Right.
Guaranteed. But the exception to that rule is if you solo mine, you might just hit that bad boy and you might just have a great day. And albeit it's extremely unlikely, he had 0.000000037% of the hash rate. And this is happening when the Bitcoin hash rate was ripping up. We're now, last time I checked, we were over 300 exahash, hitting all-time highs, but this was at 269 exahash. I mean, his S9 literally represents a drop in the ocean of hash power.
Right.
But still hit that block, and I hope that miner holds on to that Bitcoin. That is so awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome.
6.359 Bitcoin was the reward, including transaction fees. CK pool takes a little 2%, but I mean, that's just a great day.
So what's the fees are representing like an extra 1/10 of a Bitcoin or something in there?
Yeah, spot on.
And how do those, I didn't know that fees were included in block rewards.
Yeah, so the people that want their transactions included, like in the very next block, they're willing to offer higher fees. So like fees are voluntary, and and so like when transactions are really high, like when people are moving coin off of the exchange, then people will they'll kind of be bidding up the transaction fee to be included in the next block because there's a limited amount of block space. In these blocks.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, buddy.
So you can pay for faster processing or whatever priority.
And if you degaff, like you can just be like, hey, I'm gonna offer very, very little to no fees, and I degaff when my transaction's included if there's no urgency. Then you don't have to pay the high fees. You can just wait it out for the mempool to get cleared out, and then you can be included when the fees are low or extremely low. And that's actually a good segue to like kind of wrap it up, Ben. And I've had like such a good time just jumping into it like this.
Yeah.
Let's do a little funsy thing. I'm gonna take us over here to the mempool, and I'm gonna just like go through it real quick. Check this out. Like Bitcoin's so unbelievably efficient. If you look at these transactions, for example, this one right here, this is 197 Bitcoins worth 4.67 million. And the fee that he's paying is 675 sats. It's literally pennies to move. Nearly $5 million worth of Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
It's so efficient. And
and it doesn't matter. Physical location is not even relevant, really, as long as you got an internet connection and a secure address.
Like 675 sats to move $5 million worth of Bitcoin. How much do you think the bank would charge you to move $5 million?
I don't know. I would expect it's going to take a while. It's going to be a hassle, and you're probably going to pay hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars in fees.
That's
maybe on the receiving and sending end, even.
Yeah, and not to mention, like, you gotta, like, it's not your money if you can't move it. Like, Bitcoin's permissionless. You can run it your own node, and you can send Bitcoin permissionless, decentralized, and it's final settlement. Banks take forever to settle your money, right? And it's really, if you think about it, it's their money because they control it, right? Like, they're just giving you permission to use it, to use their rails, their Swift rails, et cetera, and it's all permissioned. 27 people got to sign off on it. Whereas this person can move $5 million, pay 675 sats, which is literally nothing at present value in dollars. And it gets done. Next block gets mined on average 10 minutes later.
Right. Quite a bit more swift in reality.
Unbelievable. So I wanted to touch on a couple more things, like and by the way, can you see this straightforward or does this read reverse?
I think I'm seeing everything straightforward.
Okay, cool. So just wanted to go over some basic metrics and
even though my screen's too small for me to really read individual lines.
Got you. So hash rate has broken it's staying above 300 exahash right now. We hit all-time hash rate highs, and we just had a difficulty adjustment. Let's see, I believe that happened today. So we're 69 blocks into the epoch. We just had the difficulty adjustment, and the last adjustment came in at 4? Where were we at here? What was the difficulty? Hash rate and difficulty.
So sometimes the difficulty adjustment makes things more difficult, and other times it makes them less, just depending on what the total hash power of the network is.
Correct. So every 2 weeks, automatic difficulty adjustment occurs and adjusts it upward or downward in order to achieve average 10-minute average for blocks to get mined. So when there's a lot of hash power coming online, then blocks are going to get mined faster than 10 minutes because just simply more guesses going into the computational power guessing more based on just sheer computer power.
What's the shortest block solve?
Well, what's the shortest block solved? It is possible for blocks to be solved at the same time.
Interesting.
Yeah, and that's a good question. But the difficulty adjustments, just it's amazing because it doesn't matter how much hash is online, the network will automatically adjust to make it such that it follows the certain inflation schedule, and a new block is found on average every 10 minutes. So a lot of hash power come online, then difficulty adjustment go up. A lot of hash power come offline, difficulty adjustment go down, and TikTok next block.
Nice.
Yeah, buddy. Dude, I really appreciate you coming on. I had a great time, and I hope we can do this next Sunday.
Sure. Yeah, sounds good.
Cool beans.
Yeah, if you want to shoot me a couple articles, if I see anything interesting, I'll send it your way, and we'll have another good chat.
Let's do it. Where can people find you? I hope you're going to be a regular guest on this deal. Where can people find you if they want to get familiar with the Ben himself?
I think I'm at Ben_LeNeave on Instagram and Twitter. So
Word,
those
I
are
got
probably
you tweeting. I got you tweeting.
yeah,
A little bit.
yep. I got a little excited, when Elon Musk, was claiming to potentially free the bird, and seems like the Bitcoin community has always been alive and kicking strong on Twitter, and I guess it's to be determined or seen how much Elon Musk can do with that platform, or whether he's truly a trustworthy person or not.
Word.
But I don't think you should really trust anybody with that level of power.
Don't trust, verify. And yeah, definitely shout out Bitcoin Twitter. Bitcoin Twitter, stay lit. I love the plebs out there. Yeah, dude, I appreciate you. And yeah, thanks for coming on. I'll see you next Sunday.
Absolutely, bro. Have a good week, and looking forward to talking again.
All right, ciao.
Peace.